Hey guys, this is just a quick notice just to Sweetwater Authority, providing safe, reliable water, who treats our water at the Purdue water treatment plant at the Sweetwater Reservoir in Spring Valley, California. Where I've actually been documenting quite a bit of flights from our San Diego County Sheriff Department over the Sweetwater Reservoir. They literally fly for 5 hours unaccounted for. They're flying at altitudes of 250 feet, and their flight data just doesn't add up. There's September 19th. They don't tell you when they started or took off. And then they say that they only flew for 21 minutes. So if they departed at 11:18 p.m. and only flew for 21 minutes, why is the record saying that they landed at 6:39 a.m.? Do you see how it doesn't really add up? So that's literally 5 hours of flying time unaccounted for by our San Diego County Sheriff, who is flying over our Sweetwater Reservoir. Their registration on their helicopter is N709WG. Now here also is a flight on September 19th. Here you can find it there. I can leave a link if I can find it again. But the helicopter's tail number is N710SD. This is the San Diego Police Department, September 19th, 2023. Here is a still shot of their flight. You can see the white shows that they have gotten very, very low along the Sweetwater Reservoir. And they're here flying at 300 feet. They then flew a little bit more south and did the same type of thing, also flying very, very low at, I think it's 275 feet actually. So this has now been deleted. You can no longer look at it, but this was their whole flight pattern. And they just happened to fly extremely low right over the water. So I wonder why. Now here's a flight from the San Diego County Sheriff, and this is over El Capitan, and you'll see on this one flight data recorder it shows the entire flight, but yet on another one it shows where they literally cut out, the GPS stopped transmitting. So you have two different flights, or the same flight with two different sources of information. And this was the San Diego County Sheriff at N313DP. There are many flights over our water where this helicopter actually hovered on the east bank for a long, long time, just sitting there. So don't know what they were doing. Here's a flight from San Diego Gas and Electric. Their tail number is N160AQ, and on August 8th, 8/8, that's the same day that Maui was getting attacked, they were flying over Loveland Reservoir for hours at a time. When I wrote and asked them what they were doing, they said they were doing nighttime fire training exercises. They didn't answer my question though as to why they would delete this flight when they left the flights in front of it and below it intact. They scrubbed the data on this flight. I just happened to capture it live during the time that they were flying it. It was on the same day that the military was doing exercises called the Red Flag 23-3. That's the same night Maui was getting attacked. So why would they delete this information? The reason why I bring this up as well is because I've noticed the water has changed. My throat is constantly getting, it has a burning, itchy, not even itchy, it's a corrosive feeling. So I was looking at what they were putting in the water. They put ferric chloride in the water. Notice the word coagulation. So the definition coagula, any coagulated mass, precipitate, clump, clot. Coagula, any coagulated mass, clot, curd. Is it interesting to anybody that this Baphomet on each arm, he has the word coagula on one arm pointing down? Isn't that sort of interesting? Is something being done to the water that it would create such an irritation to the throat, and it just tastes different and makes your tongue almost feel tingly and somewhat numb? And I've spoke to about 5 other people who have said the exact same thing. I asked them if they've noticed anything different with the water, and do you know what they've said? They said it leaves their throat scratchy or itchy and irritated, and that's exactly what it's done to my throat. And it takes about 40 minutes to an hour to not have that feeling in the back of your throat anymore. So I'm just wondering, Sweetwater Authority, what are you doing to the water? So here in December 9th, 2022, Sweetwater Authority writes, this week we welcome Assembly Member Aquila Weber, MD, for a tour to our water treatment facilities and shared how Sweetwater Authority provides customers with safe, reliable water. They talk about Reynolds Desalination Facility, home to Chula Vista Elementary School District's hydro station. Now, I don't comprehend why they had to bring up the elementary school, but they state, our partners showcased how they inspired students to be future water leaders. And here she is taking a tour. Notice the fire hydrant on the mat. So coagula. And you have those little serpents with that medical staff. And she's wearing a mask, which means that you're consenting to information and doing things that has zero proof behind it. And she's a doctor. And just as of 1 hour ago, today, I had the pleasure of touring the San Diego Blood Bank with Doug Morton. Donating blood is not only an act of kindness, but also an important step in improving the lives of all people. Yep. And notice the decorations. It's a favorite day for certain people with candles and everything. But remember what all those nurses and doctors were doing in the hallways when people were supposedly dying of a supposed virus? Yep, this is what they're doing when they're working so hard intubating people. And injecting them with reservoirs or whatever that's called that shut people's kidneys down. That's right. That's what they're doing. That's what they think of everyone. And this whole thing, they're taking it very seriously. Yeah, nurses spread joy during coronavirus outbreak with TikTok dance videos. Okay, now here's all these nurses asking you, please, stay home. We're here for you. Please stay home for us. Yeah. And here's one nurse that gives you the bottom of her shoe, which, you know what, if you were in the Middle East, that would have been considered very disrespectful. Yeah, so they just all put on their mask and this is what they're doing instead of treating people. That's right. So why was Sweetwater Authority so interested in getting a medical doctor in, like looking like an authority to their facility? And why are they putting ferric chloride in your water? So the coagulation, also known as clotting, that's why they call it the clot shot, is the process by which blood changes from a liquid to a gel, forming a blood clot. So this talks about the COVID-19. It says this unusual clotting may cause different complications, including organ damage, heart attack, and stroke. Skipping to that page, so it says they may be at higher risk of developing blood clots. Do you think putting something in your water that when you drink it, it might also develop blood clots, could also affect your blood viscosity and how it flows? Anyhow, I think it's interesting, the coagula and having that ferric chloride put in the water, and so many heart issues lately. Can you imagine? And look at this regarding ferric chloride. Ingestion, toxic by ingestion, but they're putting it in your water. May cause irritation to the mouth and stomach. A lot of people are having stomach issues also. Higher doses may lead to abnormal liver function with nausea or vomiting, stomach pain, diarrhea, fast and weak pulse, lethargy, palate shock, hypertension, dilated pupils, fever, coma, and even death. Wow, sounds like a lot of the COVID-19 symptoms, doesn't it? And this says you should look for the following COVID symptoms: fever, chills, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle or body ache, headache, new loss of taste or smell, and sore throat. Looks a lot like the ferric chloride consumption. Irritation of mouth. Here, the New Jersey Department of Health states regarding ferrous chloride. So this states ferrous chloride is produced by reaction of the synthesis hydrochloric acid. That's in your stomach when you eat and you're digesting your food. You've got hydrochloric acid and ferrous oxide, while ferric chloride is produced by the chlorination of ferrous chloride. Both products are available in the technical or drinking water treatment grade. And this states ferrous chloride is a corrosive chemical which can irritate and burn the eyes and skin. It says it also may damage the liver. So here's sciencelab.com, material safety data sheet, ferric chloride. This is out of Houston, Texas. Potential acute health effects: very hazardous in case of ingestion, hazardous in case of skin contact, eye contact, or inhalation, slightly hazardous in case of skin contact. Potential chronic health effects: it's a carcinogen. Well, those effects, that's not available. They haven't tested that. Mutagenic effects, that's not available either. Looks like they haven't looked into this long enough. Developmental toxicity, that's not available either. You don't know. So regarding ingestion, do not induce vomiting because it'll burn as it comes up, and it says seek immediate medical attention, but they're putting this in your water. This also says prevent entry into sewers. But yet it's coming through, all our water pipes. And this talks about biodegradation, and it says basically the short-term degradation are not likely, but the long-term, it says long terms of degradation are more toxic. So long-term. So Sweetwater Authority, working with Purdue Water Treatment, their plant uses ferric chloride, which is a coagulant, delivering it all over to your homes, your schools, the reservoirs. All right. Thanks, Sweetwater. I'm here in Chula Vista. Here is Sweetwater Authority's water tower. And here is one. That's not a tree. That's a mast cell tower, and here's another one. Now one of these, I don't know exactly which, one is American Tower. The anagram for that is New Crematoria. And then one is Verizon. Okay, so here's another view, a little closer. But do you notice how close these cells are to the drinking water in this tower? So I wonder how healthy is that for that water and for us, basically. Okay, and here's one more tower there. And we have one more. So there are 4 towers right near our drinking water. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all cell towers. And then here's some more, right on our drinking water tower. And there's a Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it's called Yugo or Yu-Gi-Oh! So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're gonna leave. I'm gonna take a picture of this because this is just, it's just so disturbing. Right on your water, your drinking water. And there's a school right next door. So what do you think? Your kids playing in the yard, in the schoolyard, and then you turn across the street here, just across the street, and there's the cell towers on the school kids. Okay, so here is Verizon Wireless Moonview. How do you like that? Moonview, 400 Moonview Drive, Chula Vista, 91910. And the emergency contact is 1-800-264-6620. They got 3 6s in there. They love their little numerology. So it's Moonview and Windrose Way. And crows, and you know what they call crows? It's a murder of crows is their flock. That's kind of freaky. Just around the corner from that elementary school, here is the cell tower right there. You see that? That's really unhealthy. Okay, so I just find it a little interesting that Sweetwater Authority happens to use something that is basically called a paramagnetic. And when you look at the anagram for that at the bottom here, it says enact MAGA RIP. So that whole Make America Great Again with the whole, build back better, is that sort of like the Salve et Coagula, which is on the Baphomet's arms, which means to dissolve and coagulate, which we're kind of seeing them do that now. We're seeing them destroy just total areas, destroying them and genociding people just so they can build it back with their smart city, their whole little 15-minute city, or the smart city grid. So when you look at the anagram for Baphomet, it's Fought beam, and Fought is a unit of illumination. So it says here equal to 1 lumen per square centimeter. So that's radiant energy. So basically, their Sweetwater has used both the ferric chloride, which is made up of the hexagonal dark crystals, and the hexagonal is, it's 6-sided, number of verticals is 6, and the number of edges is 6. So there's your 666 all on the storage tank. I should say in the water, but then they have their cells on the storage tanks. So why did they pick the ferric chloride to put in the water, I wonder? Just ask yourself that. How convenient, though, all the 6s. But just watch your water, and why don't you ask Sweetwater Authority what they're really doing? And my last comment, probably should have been my first, is Sweetwater Authority. When you look at the, just some of the anagrams, we're looking at the coagulation already. When you look at the word flocculation, it even sounds like flock, like people, like the sheep. So during the flocculation process, but when you look at the anagram for flocculation, it's action of call. And then if you look, at the word coagulation, where you're clotting everything, people are dropping from heart attacks. And then when you look at the people who are putting the stuff in the water, it's the Purdue water treatment plant. We've seen what they've been doing to the water. So the anagram for that, Purdue water treatment plant, is new, mutant, alter, perpetrated. And alter, surprisingly, Cambridge 6 days ago. So to change something, Here's another alter. Cause to change, make different, cause a transformation. And the word perpetrate is to cause, carry out, or commit a harmful, illegal, or immoral action. And I'll leave this study also for you guys to read about on your own. The effects of radio frequency radiation on human ferritin. That's the iron. That's your oxygen carrying stuff for your blood.